Welcome. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College, Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about evaluating center components. Evaluation is an ongoing process, and evaluation can take form of an analysis of a person's behavior, of an administrative policy or procedure, or of some other components of an early education program, or even a whole program. Periodically, long-range planning should occur, and the mission should be examined. Such an examination should provide data about useful and worth. After an early childhood education program has been planned, the evaluation of that program should be designed immediately as part of the program's operational system. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about evaluating center components. Childhood center evaluation has often focused on classroom practices. However, current understandings of center effectiveness indicate that the overall administrative procedures and policies and the ways in which these are implemented ultimately relate to the quality of care and education that children receive at the center. The overriding purpose of evaluation of the center's administration is to ensure good quality child care. Evaluation results should lead to examination of goals and their supporting policies and procedures. Because a major purpose of evaluation is to determine whether the center's goals are being met and whether they or the program needs to be modified, the evaluators need to know what these goals are before gathering data. A further purpose of evaluation is to determine how effective the program is in meeting the needs of clients and how efficient it is in terms of cost, time, and energy. Are the needs to the satisfaction of the center and the clients? A final reason for evaluation is the need to have a solid basis for future planning. The director uses the data from the current evaluation to determine the strengths and weaknesses of the program and to adapt the plan for the following year to correct any deficiencies or to respond to newly perceived needs. As the director and staff work together to create an evaluation system, they consider what will be evaluated and why. They determine the intended audience for the evaluation plan. Will all or part of it be available to families, all staff board members, funders, and general public, or will it be available in-house only? What does each of these groups need to know? What are they entitled to know? How will the information be used? Issues of confidentiality must be considered and must be specifically mandated in the center's policy manual. All who have access to information must agree to this overarching policy. An early childhood education evaluation plan involves 3 components: staff, children, and total program evaluation. A plan for each of these components includes delineating who will evaluate what, as how the evaluation will be conducted, and for what purposes for a particular evaluation is being done. Staff evaluation is a natural outgrowth of supervision, one of the basic duties of the director. Every staff member should be evaluated on a regular basis according to the procedures included in the policies and procedure manual. Staff evaluation is conducted to enable the director and staff member to analyze the staff member is doing well and in what areas of growth and change are desirable or required. This type of evaluation provides information to the funding agency and to the board about how employees spend their time. It also validates the work of the employees. The first form of evaluation is employee selection. In assessing an applicant's ability to work well with other employees, the director must be cautious, avoiding the selection of only those people who fit a mold. A successful choice is based on a careful evaluation of credentials and behavior rather than on overgeneralization of positive or negative traits. The child assessment plan is ultimately the responsibility of the director. This plan should be designed to relate to the curriculum with emphasis on the needs and interests of each child. Because the major goals of an early education center revolve around expectations about the development of children, the evaluation most commonly thought of to demonstrate the program's efficiency is child outcomes. Child assessment may involve an individual child, all the children enrolled in an early childhood center, or all the children funded by a particular organization or agency. The director must be sure there is a valid reason for the assessment, that the assessment process will not be detrimental to the child or children, and that parents have given consent. We'll talk more about child assessment in a moment. The program goals of the center and the program itself are designed to fulfill the particular needs of what the center was established to meet. Consequently, at evaluation time, the needs, the goals, and the program are evaluated as part of the center's overall evaluation system. At regular intervals, the community needs must be assessed so that center can plan for current and future populations. Because goals are closely tied to the philosophy of the center program, they change slowly. In addition, the director or the board may prepare checklists or rating scales for the evaluation of the program. They can be distributed to staff members, parents, and community representatives, or these people may be asked to provide their evaluations in written or oral forms. A widely used center evaluation tool is the Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale. 7 areas are covered in separate subscales: personal care routines, furnishings and displays for children, language reasoning experiences, fine and gross motor activities, creative activities, social development, and adult needs. Assessment of child progress is ongoing and is expected to inform the day-to-day curriculum, including teacher-child interactions. Professional recommendations delineate criteria for choosing and using assessment tools. For example, the tools must be valid and reliable, and the assessment must be using the tool in a specific manner. The recommendations for the appropriate method of assessing children. Therefore, directors must know which methods are appropriate and must ensure that only appropriate methods are being employed. Because teachers gather assessment information in their day-to-day teaching, directors must evaluate the methods based on the following criteria: developmental appropriateness of the methods, cultural and linguistic responsiveness of the methods, connection of the methods to the children's daily activities, multiple sources of data collected over time, support of the methods by professional development, inclusion of families, and connection of the methods to specific beneficial purposes. The director, in consultation with the teaching staff, decides on the tools to be used to document each child's progress. They discuss goals, timelines, and process. The assessment should also lead to planning to meet each child's needs. Preschool children may be assessed with screening instruments. These relatively brief tools identify children who need additional assessment because they may have a disability or learning problem. Determining whether there is actually a concern and whether there is a need for remediation then leads to a plan for the child and provision of an appropriate program and support. Many other tools are available to be used by teachers. These include teacher observations, checklists, rating scales, portfolios, reports from other professionals, and standardized tests. Keep in mind the relationship between appropriate curriculum and appropriate assessment, but remember that assessment should not drive curriculum. No matter what center evaluation process is chosen, the director is responsible for summarizing the data that are collected from all the aspects of the evaluation process, showing the progress or regression since the last evaluation, rather than focusing solely on the current performance level. The summary should provide a clear data picture for the reader and should reflect accurately the facts, ideas, and opinions provided by those who participated. Usually, a comment that occurs frequently should receive more weight in the summary than an item that seldom appears in the data, no matter how striking or impressive that item appears. Furthermore, no new information should appear in the summary. The director or a designated committee uses the summary to cull out information, and examining this information, it is necessary to keep other factors constant. After the data has been analyzed, the director prepares a report for the funding agency, the board, and the other people or group to whom the center is responsible. The report then is used for future planning. Decisions for change are based on available evidence that grows out of the total evaluation process. Now let's review what we've learned. From the center's inception, an evaluation plan is an essential component of the total program. The director should be aware of the following. The purpose of the plan is to determine the value of the center's operation, to evaluate the individuals within it through an analysis of the progress and functioning of the staff, the children, and the overall program, and to provide a basis for future planning for the center. Planning for effective evaluation of center components must be systematic and should include identifying what will be evaluated and why. The process and procedures involved with evaluating staff members include collecting, summarizing, analyzing, and using data accordingly to a pre-specified plan that lets everyone involved know how, when, where, why, and by whom an evaluation is being completed. Certain methods and strategies are useful for conducting appropriate assessment of children's progress. Program evaluation and accreditation are valuable for ensuring quality. Analyzing and using data collected through the program evaluation process is important. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about evaluating center components. See you next time.